These Falcon movies were consistently big moneymakers in the 1940s, and RKO was keen to keep making them. But George Sanders had a problem. He was now getting really great offers on the horizon. For one, he was given the chance to star in the film version of Somerset Maugham's best-selling novel, The Moon and Sixpence. And since his contract was shared by two studios, RKO and 20th Century Fox, Fox also wanted their share of his time for films like Son of Fury and The Black Swan, both with Jerome Power. So George Sanders finally said, no more Falcon movies. And RKO understood, but what they did was very clever. They said, please, come and do just one more, just one. And that's the film we have next. To ease himself out of the series, he suggested the perfect solution: get his real-life brother Tom Conway to play the Falcon sibling and take over the series from there on, which is just what they did. So stick around for the 1942 movie called The Falcon's Brother.
Tonight on Turner Classic Movies, keep your eyes peeled for our detective night. Next, Tom Conway is on the case in The Falcon's Brother. Then, Conway goes back to school in Kill Her Gently. It's all coming up next, right here on Turner Classic Movies.
They had faces then, to quote Gloria Swanson, and Lauren Bacall had one of the best. She still does. What is it that makes someone a star? A combination of things, no doubt, but perhaps one of the most important elements is that we human beings have a habit, a need perhaps, of looking at other human beings. Those we like or need to look at the most are stars. And from the beginning, people have liked to look admiringly, longingly at Bacall. Her fans know her as Lauren Bacall.
Pardon me, but aren't you Lauren Bacall?
Yeah.
Her friends, and I'm fortunate to be one of them, call her Betty. We've known each other for a long time. I first saw Betty when she was 17. I was in a play at the Lyceum Theater on Broadway. She was an usherette. And from then on, I couldn't help noticing her. I was struck by the feline face, the poise and self-possession so unlike most teenagers. Later, I saw that same face on the cover of Harper's Bazaar. And not long after that, I was not terribly surprised when the usherette said,
You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
whistling her way to stardom into Have and Have Not. Betty did an extraordinary piece of acting that first time out, walking away with not only the picture, but her leading man, Humphrey Bogart.
This is about the time for it, isn't it?
Time for what?
Story of my life. Where do you want me to begin?
I got a pretty fair idea already.
When one looks at her work in film, it's not a stretch to say Betty was and still is truly unique and truly great.
You think you're falling in love with me? Well, don't. Don't take any chances with me. Only people who respect themselves can ever love fully, freely. I don't happen to respect myself.
Some years ago, I had the good fortune to make a film with Betty.
What's on your mind?
Guess.
You're going to bite me on the ear again.
Don't you like it?
It's very strange. pleasurable sensation.
We knew each other pretty well by this time, but our work together on Designing Woman cemented what became a lifelong friendship. Betty's role in Designing Woman was a good fit. Nobody sets fashion like her. The storyline and costumes made the most of her unerring sense of style. But faint at a boxing match? Never. Aside from her professionalism in that film, I witnessed firsthand a side of Betty that meets the challenges of this world with elegance, humor, and above all, a kind of gallantry under fire. Bogey was desperately ill by then, but Betty came to the set each day, somehow masking her feelings and delivering the goods when the camera rolled.
What's for dinner?
Laurie Shannon.
For dinner?
You know what I'm talking about.
It's a cliche to say that Betty is the quintessential TB with the H of G. Tough broad with a heart of gold. But that's exactly what she is. After Bogey's death, she never quit. Betty raised 3 wonderful children while sustaining a distinguished career in movies and went on to conquer Broadway as a major star. I think Betty's enduring appeal flows not just from her skills, but from her inner strength of character. From the moment when I first spotted that lean and lanky 17-year-old in the theater in New York, I've been looking, as millions around the world have, at a remarkable woman. After so many years, I can't explain our friendship, nor would I try. For a tough broad, she blushes easily. Let me just say that I celebrate our time together. I have the joy of her friendship, and we all have the joy of her talent. We're all still looking, Betty. For Turner Classic Movies, I'm Gregory Peck.
Lauren Bacall marries into an oil family but falls in love with Rock Hudson, her husband's best friend, in Written on the Wind, Friday at 9:30 a.m., only on Turner Classic Movies.
On January 29, 1947, Broadway saw the opening of a new play, All My Sons. That night, to thundering applause, a hit was born. By morning, New York's critics were echoing that applause in glowing words. The enthusiasm of the critics did not wane. Before the year was out, they further honored All My Sons by presenting to it the coveted New York Drama Critics Circle Award for being the finest Broadway play of the year. In Hollywood, Universal International outbid every other major studio for the screen rights to this superb play. And soon the full resources of one of the world's largest motion picture studios were being extended to make All My Sons an outstanding motion picture. The ranks of stage, screen, and radio were combed to secure a perfect cast. Edward G. Robinson, magnificent in an exacting role. Burt Lancaster, fulfilling the promise he showed in The Killers and Brute Force. From the Broadway stage came Mady Christians and beautiful Louisa Horton. And from radio, Howard Duff, famous as Detective Sam Spade. Everything that could be done was done to make All My Sons an outstanding motion picture.
I don't have to explain, not to you. You're my son, my flesh and blood. If I'm guilty, then you're guilty too. Do you understand me? You're guilty too.
lot of people love this movie.
Everybody is in it.
You get Spencer Tracy,
You have Ethel Merman, Jonathan Winters,
Milton Berle.
Mickey Rooney.
You got these quick, funny bits.
It's slapstick.
Yeah.
Pulling at each other
Yes,
and grabbing
yes.
and falling through
Yes.
floors. Things that really can make you laugh.
It's a mad, 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 mad world.
It's One of the Essentials with Robert Osborne and Carrie Fisher, Saturday at 8 p.m. Only on Turner Classic Movies.